Hey everyone. All right. Sorry about the little delay, technical difficulties. YouTube is always a challenge for me, but I got it up and running. Those of you who are watching YouTube, you can see that I got you guys up and running here. And I know how important YouTube is, because we have a number of people who belong to our channel, and they watch our masses and prayers. So good morning, everyone. Good morning, Kim. Great to see you, and Chris, and my cousin Arlene. Excellent to see you, or at least to see you're watching. Can't wait for us to all get together at some point to see each other. Richard, keep up the great work. Sheila, great to see you. Jean, Debbie. Hi, Deb. What's funny is my cousin said this last time, that she felt like I was on Romper Room. I have the mirror, with just the frame, and I'm saying hello to everybody. Hi, Carla. So we're glad that you joined us for this, time that we could get together and, like I said, have a cappuccino together. Hi, Michelle. Ava Maria. Very great to see you, and thanks for all your beautiful support. All of you, thank you very much for all of your support. We're managing as well as we are because so many prayers that are coming our way. And Michelle and Rhonda, good. I haven't seen you in a while, Rhonda. Hope everything is well. Aldo. It's a challenge, but Joseph, good to see you. Roberta, it's a challenge, but we'll make it through together, and we'll get through this together, and we'll be stronger as a result. So I'm looking forward to us when we're able to see each other in person. Claire, hello, and Sandra and Debbie, Miriam, great you can join us. Angelo, Lucy, hope all the family is doing well. The little ones, one on the way. That's going to be a great baptism, won't it? When we can all get together, hopefully soon for that beautiful baptism and beautiful occasion. I'll be looking forward to it. So I have my cappuccino. I made my cappuccino this morning, and I have let me just, okay. It's one of those telemarketers. You think that it's because it's a rectory, they wouldn't, call because it's, what can is the owner of the house there? Well, sorry, but I really don't own the house, although I live in the house. It's kind of complicated, but it's funny the questions they ask. Hang on. So anyway, my cousin, Bobby, how you doing, buddy? We miss baseball, don't we? Fellow Yankee fan, and as Arlene is a Yankee fan too, but Paula, the Yankee fan, Richard, of course, most of the prayers. But we have to just hang in there. It's hard not to have baseball. We're watching like reruns of games that happened in the 70s. So it's not easy, especially at this time. We look forward after March. You can't wait for baseball season to begin, and you can't wait for everyone to be back in the swing of things and doing things on their, baseball is up and running, and you're watching the games, and you're looking at the stats, and you're seeing who's doing what and what's happening. And then all of a sudden it's, gone. So hopefully they'll figure something out, and they'll be able to get baseball back up and running, because there must be a way that maybe they could play the games, and they can, maybe have social distancing in the stands, and maybe they can test all the team, as right along. And if anyone comes up positive, just kind of like, quarantine that player. But, then what happens? I mean, what if like 5 guys on, the Yankees get quarantined and, and now they're playing with 5 of their starters, who are missing in action. And, if it's the Red Sox, then it's no problem. If the Red Sox have to be quarantined and, their 5 starters can't play, it's not a problem. But what if it's the Yankees? That's the real problem. So, we just have to, hopefully things will start up again and we'll be able to watch baseball again. Hi, Claudia. Hope everything is going well and you're doing well. I've been praying for Philip. Please know that he's in my prayers and that I've been, praying for him very much. Hello, Dennis. Good to see you. And Mary Jane, how's everything going there? And all the way in Cumberland. We had a very good time in Cumberland, didn't we? When I was there with the youth and the youth group we had, it was a real special youth group. Those kids at St. John's, now, of course, they're all grown up and big adults and everything. But, when they were kids, it was, they were special, those kids in Cumberland. They really had a strong faith and they were quite something. A special time in my life, that's for sure. Kevin, hi. We hear the beeping phone. I wonder what's happening here. I think it wasn't on the hook. I'm sorry about that. I think when it rang, it kind of like got off the hook. Kevin, great to see you. So thanks for that. I didn't even realize it. I guess you guys can hear it better than I can. Kim, have you heard any discussion about public masses and when they're going to restart, the guidelines that are going to happen? Well, the only news that I have is to go by, what the bishop said, and that is that he is talking about possibly starting up on Pentecost. And I don't know what that would mean regarding social distancing and everything. But I'll tell you this, and I'm sure I speak for my brother priests as well, that we will, we're not going to turn people away. So I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you open churches and then, you have 100 people come to mass and then you say, well, I'm sorry, but we're going to turn people away because we only have 100 that can fit. And then everyone's waiting outside wanting to come in and they can't come in. That's just not going to happen. I'm not going to do that. I'm sure my fellow priests brothers aren't going to do that. So we're just going to have to figure it out as we go along. This is all uncharted territory. We're all kind of uncertain about things and what's going to happen. And so, there's questions right now that we can't answer, but I think a lot of priests are going to be very logical about it. And we're going to make decisions, I think, that are going to be important for the people, but also, practical and make sense. Because we're Catholic, we have, as you know, several masses. So we're not like an evangelical church, for example, that maybe has one service on Sunday, like at 10:30, and like 1,000 people go to that service. And Catholics can kind of be a little taken aback by that and think, wow, that Pentecostal church not too far from here had 1,000 people, at their service. Wow, the place was packed. And well, we get over that in our 5 masses here, So, and I'm just one church of 5 in Westerly. Did you know there are 5 churches in Westerly, and among 25,000 people in population? How many of those are Catholic? I don't know, probably a little less than half. And then how many of those who are Catholic who actually come to Mass and practice their faith? Well, probably half of them. So, but nevertheless, I'm just one of 5 churches in Westerly. And, if we had only one Mass for all our parishioners, we'd need a church that could fill, 1,500, 2,000 people. But see, the thing is that, we have many Masses, so what do we have? 300 maybe in a Mass. So I think, and we can fit 700. So I don't know. I think there is a way of socially distancing. But I'll tell you this: both species, receiving communion under both species, it never made sense to me in the first place to receive both the cup and the blood and the body of Christ, because the Eucharist in the host is both. It's everything. It's the body, blood, soul, and divinity. So you are receiving both when you receive the host. But to receive the chalice too, the cup too of the precious blood, I can't see how that's going to be able to survive right now, especially considering the fact that, did you know that priests are the only ones that can purify those cups, and the only ones that can drink the remaining of the precious blood in those cups? So I don't know how many people know that, but if you using both the cup and receiving the host, Eucharist extraordinary ministers aren't supposed to drink the rest of the precious blood that's in that cup. And it's the priest that has to do it, and he's the one that has to purify them. So if you have 6 cups or 4 cups with the precious blood in them, the priest is the one who's drinking all of the remaining precious blood, and he's purifying the chalices. Not really sanitary at all. So the host is both. That's the way we've been doing it for 2,000 years. Let's just keep it that way, especially now with this pandemic. So, hi, Dawn. Angelo Luzzi, keep my Uncle Joe in your prayers. I will. Oh boy, I certainly will. Yes, I've been praying for him, which I knew that he was ill, but especially now, we'll certainly keep him in my prayers. Absolutely. Hi, Michelle. Peter, how you doing, buddy? Peter, you're doing great work. You really are. It's great to see you online, and it's great to see you use your beautiful talents that you're sharing with us at this time. I'm impressed with Peter and with other guys out there who are musically inclined, and how they're using their talents right now to entertain us online. It's just so beautiful to see that, to hear them play, because of course people love music. I love music. As you can see, I have Frank Sinatra behind me, who was the greatest ever, in my opinion, for vocals and for entertaining and for music, for what he did in his venue. But we love it. We love music, and especially my family. I'm sure a lot of families feel the same way as I do. But I don't know. I could just speak for my family. We love music in my family. We've always loved music. We've listened to it growing up. Our parents always had it on in the house. When we get together, typically it revolves around listening to music and songs we love, and going. One cousin of mine, Richard, we go downstairs in his basement, and he has his drum set up there, and we sing, and it's just a lot. It's just great, and music is tremendous. Even though I'm not particularly musically inclined, like to be to play an instrument or anything, I just love music, and I love listening to music. Anything after like 1992 or 3. I can't listen to. It's just impossible for me to listen to it. Anything after like the early 90s, I just can't relate to it. But before that, I like a lot of different variety of popular music before the 90s. So anyway, thank you, Peter, for all you do. Rosa, Hello, great to see you. Kathy, excellent. We're hanging in there, Kathy, huh? It's too bad. We just got a letter from the bishop regarding confirmation, and he said, we'll just wait and see what's going to happen. Maybe, we just don't know. There's a lot of unknowns. So I really feel bad for the confirmation class. They worked really hard. They were looking forward to making their confirmation. If anything, this will hopefully inspire them to really, as we have a great class and they were taking their faith very seriously, this class, but especially too, I think now that they've gone through this, confirmation will be all the more special, even though it was going to be very special for them. We've been having very, very excellent classes since I've been here. It's just been great kids who are really engaged and very little discipline problems. I think because we moved the age. When I got here, it was 10th grade, and 10th graders. I remember myself in the 10th grade. It's a tough time for teens to be in a 10th grader, a sophomore. So when we moved it to 8th grade, it just became much better. And I think kids need that kind of, Holy Spirit, that boost of the Holy Spirit to get them into high school, because they're really going to need it. And speaking of high school, we're praying for all our seniors. It's very sad that their ceremonies are postponed. And my nephew is a senior at Bryant University, and his ceremony is postponed. I think they're still going to have the ceremony, though. I'm really hoping that they will. I just love graduation ceremonies. I don't know why. I know they're long and you have to sit through them. But when my niece graduated from college, it was great to be there. When they graduated LaSalle, it was. I don't know if I was at my niece's when she graduated LaSalle. I think I was. I think I was already ordained. Yeah, it must have been. I wasn't in seminary, I don't think, at the time. But we pray for them. I really feel badly for them. They really have gone through a lot. Sean, great to see you. Speaking of high school, I remember our graduation. We graduated in the cathedral at the time. Now LaSalle isn't graduating in the cathedral. My nephew graduated in PPAC, which was fine. I thought it was okay. I was able to be up there too on the stage. I wore my Catholic University master's degree regalia. I still have it. I was hoping to wear it for Bryant University for the graduation there, and hopefully I'll still be able to. If they just postpone the graduation, I'd love to be there for that. For my nephew. And so great to see you, Sean. Hope everything is going well. Anthony Tedeschi, hi, good to see you. Carla, how you doing? Call me when you can. After I get done streaming, I have an idea. I always have Carla. Poor Carla. I'm always calling her with these ideas I have. Hey, what if we do this? What if we try this? What if we, And she's good. She's always like, all right, let's execute it. So, hi, Anna Maria. It's great, Anna Maria. It's great to see you and what's happening online with you. I love seeing, all your posts and the little cuties there that you have. Really great to see you. Rosemarie, Christina, great to see you. Rhonda has a question. Extraordinary ministers to bring Holy Communion to parishioners door to door with masks and gloves. I mean, it's a possibility. I see the problem. The problem is that those we're reaching out to for extraordinary ministers to bring them communion are the ones who are the most vulnerable for us and in our community. So, God forbid, someone who's an extraordinary minister has an issue and doesn't maybe even know they're contagious or doesn't know they have the virus, and they bring communion to an elderly person who's homebound. it would be dangerous. I don't know. I just wouldn't, I'd be a little afraid of that. But, we're all homebound now. So like really, what's the difference between the elderly being homebound and us being homebound? We're all homebound. We're kind of all in this together. So we have to kind of, work this all out and try and figure it out. And like I said, I want to do what my brother priests are doing too. I think we should all kind of work together, especially our neighbors, in Westerly. We should get together. We should see what's going on. We should, do things in collaboration, with each other. It's important. Maria Francese, buongiorno. I'm going to call you too. Poor Maria. I always, she's on my list too. Of I'm sure when she gets the call, she's like, "Oh no, Father Capoverdi's calling me again." But she has a son that's a priest, so I'm sure she's very patient with me. Mary Lawn, good to see you. Jen, hi. Hope everything is going well, and good to see you. And Francesca Di Salvatore, buongiorno. Music is our life in Italy. Yeah, of course. That's why, as an Italian American, we love music. All cultures love music, of course. They have their own style of music, but I don't know, especially for Italians, I think growing up, it's something we all had in common. And I asked some people, my friends who are Americans, I'll say to them, when you grew up, did you? Well, no, not really. My parents really never, played much, on the radio, or which, like surprises me because, like I said, when I grew up, it was just everywhere, especially Sinatra, Dean Martin, the crooners. My father loved to sing the songs too, in the kitchen table or in the car as we were driving somewhere. He would sing. He loved to sing. I think for my father, if I had to pick his favorite song, it was probably Sinatra's song "Saturday Night is the Loneliest Night of the Week." He loved that song, and that's something he would constantly sing in the car, or he loved that song. He also loved the song. It's kind of a I don't know, today it would be kind of odd to hear this, but the song was Dean Martin's song, standing on the corner watching all the girls go by. He loved that song. Well, Bunny, you can't go to jail for what you're thinking, or for the look in your eye. So he loved that song, Dean Martin. He loved Dean Martin. But Saturday Night is the loneliest night of the week. I think that was his favorite. But he loved all Sinatra songs and really all from the 40s, 50s, not so much 1960s for my father. I think he, kind of didn't get into too much, kind of rock and roll, like that kind of rock and roll. He loved rock and roll of the 50s. He loved to listen to rock and roll as a kid, but in the 50s. But the 60s and 70s, he wasn't into as much. I love the 70s. That music is great. That pop music from the 70s is what I like to listen to myself. Like I said, I like music up until like the early 90s. Anna, very nice to see you. Hope everything's going well. Sean, thanks. I'm glad you like the live streams. We used to see each other in Bristol every once in a while at the ballpark, and that was kind of fun. And, we've sad how we lost touch. And then, we had a LaSalle reunion, and I went to it, and like no one was there from my class. And apparently there was like another location that they were going to meet at. I never got the memo to go there. But unfortunately, we don't get it together as much as I'd like to. Hopefully, after this, we'll start to, realize the importance of getting together more, and we'll just we'll do that. Carla, her dad Used to love. Yeah, they were. Well, Dino and Frank. I mean, they were monumental for popular music, and they really drew a lot from Bing Crosby. Sinatra loved Bing Crosby, and really was a crooner. Was the first of the crooners, Bing Crosby. And then I have to say, and I don't know how many people know him, but he's one of my favorite singers and performers of all time, Al Jolson. Al Jolson really was the pioneer to bring a kind of a jazzy sound, like a crooner kind of, maybe not as much of a crooner, but a jazzy kind of sound to the popular airwaves. It was really unknown before him, and he really developed this kind of music in New Orleans when he was there, and he heard African Americans doing jazz, and the contribution of African Americans to popular music in America is, before the 1990s, is monumental. Their bands and their music were tremendous in the 50s and 60s and even 70s. Earth, Wind and Fire, in the 70s, and their contribution to rock and roll and their contribution to popular music. And as I said, their contribution to popular music in the sense of Al Jolson listening to jazz and then putting words to it and making it popular. And really that's where it came from, is New Orleans and the jazz movement, and then the jazz of the 1950s and 60s is tremendous. I just can't get into African American music now. I just don't. I can't get into it. It doesn't have lyrics. It doesn't have any kind of musical qualities like horns and guitar, and like Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix was one of the best guitar players ever, and to listen to him is just it just elevates you, to listen to Jimi Hendrix. But nowadays I can't get into the music at all. But anyway, so these contributions that these guys gave to us throughout the decades is monumental, especially, as I said, Al Jolson. If you really if you really want to listen to him, I would recommend it. And also too, Billie Holiday. Sinatra loved Billie Holiday, and she was monumental. And her voice, I could just listen to her all day. I love Billie Holiday. If you never heard of her, if you haven't heard her in a while, check her out. She's really great. Hi, John. John's watching, and Paula, my cousin Paula. You certainly know how much we love music. Paula, Bobby, and I, when we were little, that's all we would do is we got together, we'd put on shows, we'd have a little stage. I think we would just stand on the couch. That would be our stage. And we all had our songs that we liked, or we liked to perform, and we would just sing. And I think we learned how to do that again from our parents, because they were always singing and they always loved to sing. And so I think we just were kind of imitating them in how we were acting, and our older siblings and all of our family loved music and would always be playing music. And that's really how we got introduced to music, by our older siblings playing it, and it being so much a part of their life. Salvatore, buongiorno, good to see you. And Salvatore, both Salvatores, Capalbo and Magliari. Jackie finished nursing school. Brava. That's great. Boy, she's going from the frying pan to the fire, huh? God bless her. She's going to be a great nurse, very loving, compassionate, which are great qualities for a nurse. And then, the importance right now of being out there, and I'll be praying for her, because, she's like one of these heroes that we're talking about. But I think that all the time, because I'm in hospitals all the time visiting patients, and I see nurses and doctors, and I always thought they were heroes. Especially because it's not my forte necessarily. I would have a hard time, I think, working all day in a hospital environment. I couldn't do it, I don't think. So to see people, men and women who were there when I'm visiting patients to bring them communion or anoint them, and to see how hard they work, to see the commitment that they have. And, we say now, that they're putting their, lives in danger even because they're around COVID-19 patients, but they're around sick people all the time. Every day when they step into their work environment, they're around sick people. Some are not contagious, but some are. And they still have a lot of precautions that they need to do. So I've always been enamored and admired the nurses and doctors and the work they do in hospitals. And I've always considered them heroes. But especially now, they're really being highlighted. When are you going to celebrate Mass at St. Michael's Church in Pawcatuck? I don't know. I don't have any plans on celebrating Mass in St. Michael's in Pawcatuck. I've celebrated there because the priest there, who's awesome, Father Perkins, is a great guy, and I've celebrated funerals there. He's been here. Father Perkins has been here to celebrate Mass with me. And I always enjoy seeing him. I congratulate him on his opening of the church. They had a little trouble with the roof, and when I first got here 9 years ago, and the church had to close. But see, don't forget, Kevin, that there are different dioceses than me. So, we're not as connected, even though we're both Catholic priests, even though we're both parishes very close by. I would say, 2 miles away, maybe 3 miles away from me. Nevertheless, there are different dioceses. They're the Norwich diocese. We're the Providence diocese. And as a result of us being in different dioceses, we just don't, see each other as much or get too, involved with what's going on with each other's churches. So I don't know. I don't have any plans to celebrate Mass there, nor would Father Perkins maybe have plans to celebrate Mass at Immaculate. I don't know if that would ever happen, but it's beautiful. And I'm really looking forward to being in there sometime to celebrate when there's a parishioner who, or somebody, I should say, not a parishioner, but somebody I know who died that's whose funeral is there. Lorenzo, great to see you. And Mario, nice to see you here watching. Gail, how you doing? Great to see Gail watching, and of course we're all praying for your mom. She's another one that's a real big hero for what she, is going through, and she's doing really well. Thanks be to God. So our prayers are being answered. It's a tremendous prayers being answered. Francesco, hello, and Marlene. Kevin, they have the Latin Mass there, yes, on Sundays. That's great. But I have Mass here around the same time, so that's why I'm not able to go. But I'm glad that Father Perkins is doing that. Brenda Marie, speaking of watching posts, and so happy that we're connected on Facebook, and to see your beautiful daughter and how she's growing. I really miss being around you guys. For 2 years, for those of you who don't know, for 2 years, I lived in Brooklyn, and I commuted to Staten Island as a priest when I worked for Priests for Life. And I traveled all over the country with Priests for Life. But I lived in Brooklyn, and the office was on Staten Island. So I was on Staten Island a lot. Staten Island was so much like Rhode Island to me. It just reminded me of being around all people that I'm usually around in Rhode Island. There are a lot of Italian Americans there, a lot of great coffee shops, like cafes, A lot of great Italian pastry, great restaurants. There was a restaurant, Brenda Marie. I can't remember the name of it. I should ask Father Pavone next time I talk to him. But I wonder if it's still there. They made polenta exactly like my grandmother made it. And I never tasted polenta before that made anyone who made it like my grandmother. My grandmother, because she was from the South, she made polenta. The North makes it in kind of like cakey, like pieces of cake, or like it almost looks like corn muffins, like cornbread, the way they make it in the North. But my grandmother, who was from Potenza, she made it loose, like cream of wheat. So it was in a dish, and it was like cream of wheat, and then it had the texture of cream of wheat. And you used a spoon to scoop it up, and then she would put a little bit of sauce in the middle. I say sauce, not really gravy, like a Sunday gravy, but just a sauce. She would put a little bit of sauce in the middle, and then she would put little like crushed, fried crushed sausage in the middle on the sauce. So she made a sauce with crushed, fried crushed sausage, and then she put it on top of the polenta. It was delizioso. Boy, do I miss that. She was the only one I knew who ever made it that way. Not even my other grandmother, my father's side, who was from Campania. She was from Caserta, like a little town called Capriati al Volturno. But there's a lot of people in Johnston, actually, who are from Capriati al Volturno. And that's where they mostly settled from Italy. Near, like I said, in Campania region, Caserta, it's a little town called Capriati al Volturno. And I guess they really didn't, my grandmother Rose, my father's mother, didn't make polenta like my mother's mother, who was from Potenza. But Brenda Marie, I bring all this up because there was a restaurant there. Like I said, I have to ask Father Pavone if he remembers. And there were two that we used to go to a lot. One was a little more expensive than the other one. One was kind of closer to the office, and the other one was not too far away, but it was a little more expensive. And boy, I couldn't believe it. I ordered the polenta, and I couldn't believe it. It was just like my grandmother made. I was scooping it up like cream of wheat. It had a little, sauce in the middle. I was like, grazie a Dio. I couldn't believe it. It was like I was eating my grandmother's polenta. It was delicious. So when everything reopens, I got to see if that restaurant hopefully is still open. And I got to take a ride. I'll see you. And maybe we can go there together and I can have that polenta. Oh boy, did I love it. So, hey, Thomas, very good you're watching. Thomas, as I said, is his father is a Supreme Ricotta cheese owner, and that's a great product. We were talking about that last time. So Gregory, great to see you. Linda, Joseph Lombardo, hi. Good point, Father. And I don't think most people, even though well-meaning, would know about cross contamination. I know it's hey, Billy's watching, my cousin. Hey Billy, I'm looking forward to getting together when we can smoke cigars again. It's sad because I can't smoke in the rectory because I could if I wanted to, but it takes 2 days to get the smell of the cigar out of the rectory. So matter of fact, I have a priest friend who I went to visit. And I walked in the rectory and I said, "You smoked a cigar in here?" And he's like, "Yeah, I did." And I could just tell. So I have a nice patio where I can smoke, but it's been so rainy and cold that I haven't been able to. So I'm disappointed that I haven't had a cigar in a while, and we have to get together for a cigar when things open up again. Arlene, I never, something she asked if I ever heard her dad sing. I never did for some reason. And I know how musical he was. I know he played the accordion and he was very, very musical from what I remember, because he played I heard him play the accordion, and I think he even played like didn't he play like a stringed instrument too, like a guitar or some kind of stringed instrument? But I've never heard him sing, unfortunately. So that would have been a treat, but I never did, actually. But I know he was musical, and I've heard him play. And I don't know why I don't remember him singing when he would play. Maybe, I don't know, because he was older and he just didn't sing anymore. I don't know. Or maybe I just wasn't there when he did sing. But I remember him playing the accordion, and I remember him being very musical. You're right. Yeah. Hi, Sam. I have to call you. We have to talk about the eBay situation. So we'll have that conversation. Hopefully you got a little sleep last night. Kids, they stay up until all hours of the morning. Esmeralda, great to see you. Hope everything's well. Hope all of your children are doing well. Tell Rob I got to take my bike out. I still have that bike. Esmeralda's husband, Rob, when I was in Bristol, made me this gorgeous bike. And he got it just from parts he had that were around, and it's light, it's fast, it's a road bike. And I haven't been out in a while on it. So tell Rob I gotta get out there and get on back on the bike. What about Our Lady of Mount Carmel, our feast? It's funny you asked that question. I was and Esmeralda is from the parish of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. I got to talk to Father Zeno, because they have a Mount Carmel feast there too. Let's put it this way. Here's how I feel about this. Hi, Lisa. Great. You could join us for cafe. I got to talk to Father Zeno about this, because he will have his feast at the same time we do. I'll tell you this, as pastor, we are going to have the procession of Mount Carmel, even if we have to have like 4 guys wheel, because we wheel it now, because it's 3 miles. So we don't really hold it up on the shoulders anymore. So we have a cart that is wheeled on, and like I said, it's 3 miles. So it was. We went to the cart, I think, in the 60s or 70s, but I'll tell you this: we're gonna have that procession, even if it means people watching it from their homes or coming out and being on the sidewalk and not being in a procession necessarily. But the Blessed Mother is going to make her 3-mile procession this year. We're not going to end it. Absolutely not. And we're not going to postpone it this year. And I don't want us to, even if I have to push the cart myself, we're going to do it. Because but if in July we have this problem, but I think if the guys who push the cart, if they wear masks, if they wear gloves, and everybody, we don't encourage people to actually like be in the procession, but watch it from the sidewalk and like separate from each other. I don't see any problem why we can't have the feast, but I think by July we should be fine, because this crazy virus doesn't like the sun, and it doesn't like the heat. So I don't foresee us, in the fall we have to worry. And for the same thing for the Sant'Angelo, I think we would just maybe do the same thing if we had to do that. But we're not going to end that feast at all this year. And we've been doing it for 92 or 93 years in the parish. Under my watch, it's not going to be suspended this year. We will make it work, and we will, even if we have to have only 4 guys pushing it at a time, and then they switch up, by using Perel, whatever we have to do, the Blessed Mother of Mount Carmel will be processing through the streets. Whatever we have to do to make that happen. to my grandfather. Joseph has asked if his grandfather listened to music. Something you'll have to ask. You'll have to ask your uncles and aunts that. Like I said, I don't remember my Uncle Ricky. Like, I know he liked music and I know he played music, but I don't remember him necessarily singing. Like, I remember my father, of course, because we were in the car together. We were, in the house together, all the time. So I don't remember him. I don't know. You'll have to ask your aunts and uncles. He loved to smoke cigars, that's for sure. And he always was in that rocking chair in the corner of the kitchen, with his sweater on. He always had a tie on. And that's something I really admired about my Uncle Anthony, is the way he dressed. Even at home, he was a lawyer and he wore a suit, during the day. But when he came home, he didn't throw on, sweatpants, and a sweatshirt. He took his jacket off. He kept his tie on. He put a sweater on because he was home. So he was more casual. He put a sweater on and he had a tie on. And he would sit in the corner, of the kitchen in the rocking chair, with a cigar. And, he was, there with his family, enjoying everyone's company. That's how I remember him. And it was an influence on me because I'm not a casual person myself. I don't like to go out in the supermarket, with a hoodie, or sweatpants. I like that generation and how they cared about the way they dressed. And like I said, I don't think I've ever seen my Uncle Anthony without a tie on. He had a tie on when he worked. So he just came home and he was still lawyerly, and I think that's his generation of lawyers. I think they were like priests in a way, where they took their job and their role as a lawyer very seriously. It was a real vocation for them. And so because they had a very lawyerly way about them, that they were in court and they were doing important work, defending people. And when they came home, they kept that kind of aura about them, that they were going to still wear a tie and they were going to still, be in that role of somebody who was in that profession. And, when I talk to other lawyers about that, who are my age and whose fathers were lawyers, and they tell me the same thing, actually. When I tell them about my Uncle Anthony and how he always wore a tie, and, he would just, not a suit jacket, but he would put a sweater on because he was home. So he'd be a little more casual. And they would tell me that about their dads. They would say, something that's true. My father, who was a lawyer, was the same way. He came home and he always had a tie on, and it was so that I remember about him. That was really special. And like I said, it was an influence on me to feel the same way. To say, as a priest, it's a profession, it's a calling, it's a mission that I'm on. And, I don't want to be around town, looking, like I just got off the exercise bike. And I think lawyers feel the same way. I think, they're in court, they're doing very important work. And then when they're out and about in the market, they want people to see them as somebody who is that they recognize when they see them in their profession. So it was a different culture back then, certainly, where people dressed up more. Anyway, but I think especially for lawyers in my Uncle Anthony's generation, it was you were always a lawyer. You didn't just come home and say, okay, I can throw off my my suit now and just walk around the house like I just came back from the gym. No, they had this approach where they always had to be lawyerly in the way that they approach things. And that's how my Uncle Anthony was. I just remember him that way, as always being lawyerly, even when he was at home. And as I said, it's as I talk to more people about their dads and uncles or whatever who were lawyers, they say the same thing. They say, yeah, my dad was like that too, from that generation. He felt he did that. Sergio Franchi, yeah, Deb, certainly, he came from around here, didn't he? I think he has a connection to Westerly. He would his wife lives nearby, I think in Stonington, and she's been seen around town. And I actually was in her company at a function a few years ago, and it was a real pleasure meeting her. Her husband was great. I'm not as familiar with his music, and I'm maybe because I don't know. I don't remember my dad really into him as much. I just know of him, and I know he was a great voice and vocalist, but I don't have as much of a reference of him. But he was one of the greats. There's no doubt about it. And I think in Westerly, you guys here had more of a connection to him because of his connection here to the town. My dad was pulled over with the police when I was younger for singing music Italian so loudly. Oh my goodness. You got to be kidding me. That's funny. How could the police, why would the police do this? I don't understand it. Like, because your dad was singing? Oh my goodness. My father would have been in big trouble, with the way he sung in the car. And he smoked in the car too. Like you wouldn't imagine. When I was a kid, oh my goodness, all the windows are rolled up, he's smoking away. I'd say, Dad, hey, don't worry about it. When you get older and you have a car, then you do what you want. It's my car. And I'll tell you, those guys, they were great in that generation. I'll tell you. Father, this past Tuesday, Father Zeno had a cooking video. Said that the best was supreme. We're going to cheese. Well, I'm glad he said that. Father Zeno is certainly a connoisseur, and certainly I lived with him for a year, so I was the beneficiary of his cooking and prowess, and plus I'm on his invitation list as a priest. So I'm very much the beneficiary of his food, and I know if he said it, then it certainly is true, and I would certainly concur with him as someone who likes to cook myself. And I've had other brands too. It's not that it's the only one I've had. I've had other brands. They're not as creamy. They're not as rich. They don't have as much consistency. I don't know. I whenever we had, used it in my house, lasagna, stuffed shells, manigot, there was no other choice. Andrea, hello. You must be happy that hopefully the beaches will be open soon. That'll be great to be back on the beach. And, I love going to the beach. I'm fortunate here in Westerly that I'm so close. I'm hoping my family can go. Usually my family comes down once a year and or as often as they want, but typically because of the time, and how much time people have, it's only once a year. But they come and we go to the beach, and I'm looking forward to doing that. And that invitation is for our cousins too. We'll let you know when my siblings and niece and nephew are coming down, and we'll let you know, and we can have a cookout here, and it'll be fun. But I love the beach, and hopefully we'll be on the beach pretty soon and be catching those rays. In Rhode Island, it's very important to us to get to the beach. Anna, off to the dogs now. Oh, you're open. Are you guys? Anna is a groomer, and I was wondering about that, if the dogs were being groomed and the pets. Francesca is in real need. I usually give her a haircut, believe it or not. Like underneath her mane gets a little furry, and I usually cut her mane and cut around like behind her whiskers, like it can get kind of furry. And she lets me. She just sits there and lets me cut, underneath her chin and around her ear. I'm careful, but I try to be careful, of course. But she lets me. She's very calm, so it's not typically an issue. Riley, hey, how you doing, buddy? Yeah. All right, that's right. Yes. Yeah. Well, like I said, Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra admired him most of all, I think, and certainly Bing Crosby played an incredible role in Frank Sinatra's development as being a crooner, and he was one of his big admirers, certainly. It's funny because Bing Crosby said that, I think I told you this last time, that Frank Sinatra's voice only comes once in a lifetime. And Bing Crosby said, yeah, and I'm really sad it's in my lifetime. So, but he had nothing to worry about because he was a great crooner, older than Sinatra, as I said. And Sinatra he was like a mentor to Sinatra. But yes, certainly true. And Riley, I'm sorry about the loss of your priest friend. Riley, is he the priest I met when we went to his rectory when I was visiting there, and we went up like upstairs? It was like a private entrance to his rectory, like on top of a rectory or something, and it was the outdoor staircase, and we said hello to him. I think that was the priest, wasn't it? And he was such a great guy. I feel sorry about his loss. I'm going to be, I've been praying for him all week, and then I'm going to be praying tomorrow a special prayer for all who died during the coronavirus pandemic, whether they died of that or something else. So he's going to be one of the deceased that I'm going to pray for Friday at 10 a.m. tomorrow at 10 a.m. So if you can watch, please do. And hopefully I can get there to St. Louis at some point and see Father Benet and see you and see Father, what's his name there, my friend, Father Bomarino. Hope he's doing well down in the Italian section there in the Hill. Can't wait I love the Hill. I can't wait to get there again. Good morning, Francesco, Sharon, Elena Bean, great you're watching. Hope everything's going well. I think you're back home now, so that's good. Hope my little buddy is doing well. Give him a big hug and kiss for me. And it was great to see you, even if it was, from a long distance and waving, but it was great to see you. And keep up the great work there, what you're doing at home. And thank you for all you do. When you're able to. Now you're on a leave for your pregnancy, but you're a nurse too, and nurses, like I said, are big heroes of mine. And like I said, I see firsthand what they do in the hospitals, and it's angels. It's the work of angels. I hope you continue doing these chats, even when things go back to normal. All right. Well, if that's what you guys want, I don't know how many people will be home but I certainly would, considering it, doing it. Yeah. Rhonda mentioned Motown, that's exactly what I was talking about. And those Motown bands, I could listen to them all day. They were tremendous. Gina, how you doing, Gina? Good to see you. Hope everything's going well with you. I haven't seen you in a while. I haven't seen anyone in a while, but especially, we see each other sometimes at functions, when you come to see your friend Alessandra. So I hope you're doing well and everything's going well with you. I'll have to check out your Facebook page and see what's going on with you when I get done, with this and catch up. It's great. We have Facebook because you can look and see what people are doing and how they're doing and what they're up to. Jen, me too. No doubt about that. Almost beach time, Andrea. Yeah, well, that's right. I bet you can't wait. My class of 67 has a memorial mass every year for our deceased classmates at St. Mark's in Cranston. Wow, that's great. And Father Anthony Vertolotti is doing that. He's your classmate, Tom? Father Vertolotti? Wow. Yeah, I lived with his brother for 5 years. He was my pastor. And boy, what a great classroom experience that was, being the assistant to his brother. I learned so much underneath him, just really getting to know him and being a priest as his assistant, and I didn't realize his brother was your classmate. That's really something. So and you guys went to St. Mark's together? Is that what it was? School? I didn't realize that. Also, too, did you went to LaSalle, Tom? I'm not sure. I think you did. Didn't you go to LaSalle? And were there any priests in your class? That's a question I have. Sandra, when my mother had Alzheimer's, she stopped talking, but when we sang, she would mimic the words. It's incredible, isn't it? And I'm not surprised. People with Alzheimer's or people who, have dementia. It's interesting when I go in to see them, and I make the sign of the cross. They make the sign of the cross. They may not know what's going on, or they have Alzheimer's, they have dementia. But when I say in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, they respond and they make the sign of the cross. They'll say the Our Father, so it's really incredible, isn't it? How like a song or especially prayer, they respond. Let's see if there's any other questions. We would sit. Yeah. Okay. All right. So see, because Arlene, I'm not going to say she's older than me, but she certainly has more memories about that generation than I do, of course. I have very fond memories of that time period, and my formative years were that period. But I was wondering that. So that's why we needed to ask our older cousins, or we would all sit around and play the piano with grandma. And yeah, you were too young. Yeah, I don't remember it now. But I know that there was a piano in Uncle Anthony's house, that there was a piano there. Now, I don't know who played the piano, and I don't know where the kids taking lessons on that piano. Is that why it was there? I don't know if anyone played it necessarily. Maybe the kids did because they were taking lessons. But that's a good question. I have to ask my Aunt Mary, or one of the DeSimones. Who played the piano in your family? There was an upright piano there that I remember. Let's see. 5. I wonder where 5. Mary's saying 5 asterisk. I don't know. Good morning, Auntie. I'll say good morning to her too. My sister's watching. Hello, Anna Maria. Hope everything's well. We should have another conference call. We haven't had that. Not conference call, but video chat. I really enjoyed that. So we gotta do that again very soon. Karen, hello. Great you're here. Robin, how you doing, Robin? Hope everything's going well. My coffee's getting colder. But I like cappuccino when it's cold. See, the foam is still holding up there, as you can see. And it's a little cold, but it's like iced coffee. It's like iced cappuccino when it gets cold. Robin, hope everything is well. I got to get down there to Pennsylvania to see my Fontana friends, and then to see you. How's Father Sal doing? Tell him I said hello. Tell him I miss him too. Hope he's doing well. Great guy. So Jackie, hi. And Vincenzia, hello. Federico, buongiorno. Oh, for you guys, are you in Italy, Federico? I think you're one of my Italian friends. For you, it's buonasera. Angie, hi, and morning. And Kathy, how you doing? I hope everything's going well in Bristol. I don't know what's happening with the 4th of July parade. Some people were saying that they already canceled the parade, and I don't know. I mean, that would be tragic if they did. That's the oldest and largest parade in the country, 4th of July parade. And I always love going down there. Father Zeno very graciously gives me accommodations to stay there, which I always appreciate. He's very gracious to priests, especially to me. I'm very grateful to him for. And then he has a great dinner for priests afterwards that he cooks, and that's awesome. Great to be with priests and to, we have a great time when we're together. A lot of laughs, that's for sure. A lot of talking about the old times and, stories, wars, but it's fun. But let me know what's going on, Kathy, with that, because I heard that rumor. about that. I got an Italian message here. Thanks for what you do in the morning, and congratulations, and for a true heart. Well, thank you very much, Miriam. I appreciate that message in Italian too. Carl, hello. Anne-Marie, hi. Victoria, how's it going? Hope everything's going well. How are the boys doing? Miss you guys. It was great to be in Bristol and to see your boys grow up, and they were great kids. They did a great job with them. Congratulations, because you have great kids. Your husband's a lawyer too. I wonder about that. I was talking about lawyers and how they kind of like priests. We're always priests. We wear a collar even sometimes when we're home, or and I wonder about that, if your husband has memories about that, or what his feelings are about that. Barbara, hi, good to see you. Tagliaferri. Now, Barbara, you're related to Ron Tagliaferri? I think, right? You his sister, or fond memories of him at LaSalle, that's for sure. He's a lawyer too. He's a great guy. Oh boy, he was a great teacher. He was a great teacher. He wasn't just a good teacher. He was a great teacher. He really, what was great about him, well, if you're related to him, but we'll talk about him anyway, Ron Tagliaferri, is that he was a hard teacher. You learned a lot in his class, and he was demanding. But he was a good guy. You can still be demanding. Some priests, some teachers were very demanding, and they were good teachers, and they were tough on the students, which you have to be, to challenge. And they were kind of tough people anyway. Like, they were just, their personalities were a little harsh, so you had a harder time relating to them, even though you appreciated their teaching abilities. But your brother was both, or if you are related to him. But Ron Tagliaferri was both. He could be a tough teacher, and he could really challenge you and push you, and be a strong disciplinarian, but then be a great guy. Like, just be this guy that you loved. That's a quality that's not easy to maintain as a teacher. To be loved, and to be affable, and to be friendly and kind and approachable, but also to be tough, and to be hard and a disciplinarian, and to be challenging. That's not easy. Gina, my grandfather put on a board, and everyone would take from it. That's great. That's great. Kathy, Doris Polenta, yes. Carla, Dora made great polenta. Dora made anything great. Dora Rizzo was a parishioner at Immaculate Conception Church, and fond memory of many, many people in town, and everything she made. Her polenta was tremendous, but everything that she made was tremendous. She made stuffed eggplant. It was unbelievable, her stuffed eggplant. But like I said, her gravy was tremendous. Her meatballs. Dora just had the Midas touch in the kitchen. And that, most Italian women are great, great cooks. My two grandmothers were, my mother was, most Italian women, my mother's sister was an unbelievable cook. My aunt's sister was special. My Aunt Joanne, the way she cooked, she was special. She had a talent, but again, my mother did too. Italians just know how to cook. And then there are some that are just like unbelievable. They're all tremendous. And there are some that are just, Dora was in that stratosphere where she had the Midas touch in the kitchen. She just knew how to make things and put them together. And like I said, most Italian women do. But Dora was special. There was something really special about her. And her personality too. She was a very devout Catholic, and a very beautiful woman, all around. But boy, she was special in the kitchen. Hi, Diane. Good to see you. My longtime friend from the neighborhood, from the Elmhurst neighborhood, and now my cousin for many, many years. Hello. Fabrizio. Buongiorno, Fabrizio. Linda, hi. Great you're watching. And Jean, good morning. Carolyn Trebisacci is texting me right now. I don't know if she gets online, but hello, Carolyn Trebisacci. People from Westerly know her. She's constantly at Mass when we're open, and she's really hurting now, not as we all are, but we're trying to stay connected. Auntie Mary, it's great you're here. You're in my prayers. You're strong. You're a strong woman, that's for sure. So God bless you, and thank you for all your prayers and watching. We're connected in this way, so that's a beautiful thing. Jean Mata from OLMC. Lady Mount Carmel has been very fortunate in there, and it's has a long tradition of really tremendous priests there who have led them as pastors, and Father Lolio, and before Father Bertolotti, and Father Bertolotti carrying on that tradition. Now Father Zeno is, and the Scalabrinis were there, and they were tremendous too. The Scalabrinis did a great job there. So it's a real fortunate parish to have a really great priest there. And Enrico, buongiorno, Enrico. Great to see you watching. I haven't seen you in a while. We have to, when this is all over, we have to have a cappuccino in person. Hope everything is going well, and you're in my prayers, and your family's in my prayers. I gotta see Nixon. I haven't talked to Nixon in a while. I gotta. He has a brother-in-law. We call him Nixon. It's an inside joke from Westerly. Italians in Westerly, they call him Nixon. But I haven't seen him in a while, so I gotta call Nixon and see how he's doing. John, hope everything's going well. Good to see you. Great you're on board here, and we're having coffee together. Hope everything is going well with you, John, and your kids. I miss seeing you and your kids, that's for sure. And your brother. Do you believe I even miss seeing your brother? Well, let me think about that, actually. No, I'm only kidding. I love you, Bob. I'm only kidding. I love to bust him up, but John, that because Bobby is your brother, you get special time off purgatory, and because I'm his priest, I do too. I don't know why we love teasing Bobby, but we do. It's part of what we do. We just like to tease him. Lisa Costa, nice to see you. And Kathy, hi. Anita, great to see you. Katie, I'm just scrolling through to see if there's any more questions. Michael, is that true? You're talking about Anne Marie Vittoria. Nothing casual about him. Yes, Ernesto, buongiorno, Ernesto. Or for you, buonasera, come stai? Hope Italy. I'm praying for Italy. Hope everything is going well. I hear maybe May 4th for Italy, things may restart to open. Start to open again. So Ernesto, you're in our prayers. And I really hope that things are opening up again. Please know that you're in my prayers. So we'll be praying for Italy. They're ahead of us in this, so they'll open before we do. And I just can't wait to get back to Italy. I was supposed to be in Italy right now as I'm streaming this. So I really can't wait to get back there. It's really my second home. So please God, let's keep praying. Andrea, I don't know where Francesca is. She's not around, so I would pick her up and let her say hello to everybody. But she's probably upstairs. She has a tree house upstairs, like one of those cat things that they lay on, and it's right, looking over the parking lot of the church. And she likes to be up there in the morning. So she comes around in the morning. She wants to eat and she wants to drink and she wants to play a little, and then she disappears for her nap. So she's probably upstairs having her nap. Doug, hi. I'm just seeing if there's any. Kelsey, great to see you. I enjoy watching your live streams and all the work that you're doing. As I always mention when I see you online, that I thank you for keeping us going and moving. Not to say that I do it as much. I really should. I know everybody says that, but I gotta, maybe, you know what? When this is all over, I'm gonna get to the gym. I could say that. But anyway, it's great you're keeping us all moving and what you're doing to provide that. Thank you, Kelsey. And I can't wait to see you and Kennedy in church. I just can't wait. So, Mary played. Duda played the piano. I was wondering who played the piano, or maybe if all of your kids' auntie, got lessons and that's why the piano was there. But she played. Okay. I wonder if she still plays. We gotta ask her if she'll play the piano for us. Duda, do you still play the piano? That'd be fun. Jade Gervasini, how you doing, Jade? Great to see you. Glad you're streaming here. You got to come and see me now that you're back in town. And we were trying to get together there for a little bit with some of the servers, and then it kind of fell through. So, Dennis, you're saying that, do you mean the Mount Carmel? I mean the 4th of July parade was canceled according to the governor? Because you said it was canceled. Do you mean the 4th of July parade? That's really sad. That's really sad because, I just can't imagine the Bristol without the 4th of July parade. That's really unfortunate. I hope she'll change her mind on that. Maybe we could get a writing campaign or something to her. And, I don't see a problem with that. I don't know. It's the summer. It's, it's really sad that she canceled that. Don't get me starting with Gina Raimondo, but I don't know. We should really, maybe have a letter writing campaign or something. And, it's too bad. Father Sumizi, I've heard of him. Maybe I'm not pronouncing his name properly. Roberta, hi. I know you miss coming to Mass, as everyone does. We're really, we're going to get through this together. Eileen, you were asking about Mary Magdalene. Yeah, no one else has asked about that, but, we got to talk about that. Maybe I'll do that in one of my classes. We'll do that in one of my classes. Claudia, as I said, great to see you. All festivals, jazz, folk, etc., are also canceled. Yeah, that's what Dennis is saying. Boy, look at the time. Boy, time flies. Look, I'm still not even done with my cappuccino. I know Arlene is saying have two, but I don't think I can handle 2 cappuccinos. Besides, like I said, I like when it's a little cold. I got most of the foam here. That's still on the bottom of it's delicious. So maybe we'll wrap things up. It was great spending time with you this morning, streaming. Let's start a campaign to open the churches. Hey, you know what? I'll sign that petition. That's for sure. I'll be the first in line. I know a lot of my priest friends would. So, absolutely. I think a lot of priests would. But like I said, we have to trust the bishop. Bishop Tobin, he's a great, great bishop, and he has good men working around him. Guys I really like and trust are work around him. His auxiliary is a really good bishop, and guys that work around him, Monsignor Kenny and Father Jeremy, and I admire those guys a lot, and they're great priests. So they're gonna advise him the right way, and he's going to make good decisions as he has. So we'll, continue to pray for Bishop Tobin, because it's been a real burden on him to have to make the decisions he's made, and it's not easy being in that seat. It's not easy being in the pastor's seat. You have to really, it's challenging. It's not, walking in his shoes, walking in a priest's shoes, having to make decisions. I know as pastor here, I've had to make decisions that are not always popular, but it's what we have to do. So we just have to keep praying. What did you say, Andrea? I would sign to what type of cappuccino machine you have. Well, I highly recommend this cappuccino machine. I'll show you it at a little closer. This is the cappuccino machine that I have, and I if you're looking for a cappuccino machine, I highly recommend it, because I've had this for maybe 10 years, I think. I got it just as I was coming to Immaculate Conception as a pastor. And there's a thing up here where you can grind coffee beans, and then there, this is how you turn it on, and there's this handle here, that you put the coffee in, and you kind of put it in here, and then you let it drip out into the cup. And then I use Illy. My favorite brand of coffee is Illy. I like Lavazza too. That's a good brand. But Illy's kind of my favorite. Of all the coffees that I've had, in Italy, and the blends, the grounds, Illy is my favorite. But again, I have Lavazza too. Someone gave me this Aiello, and I haven't opened it yet. But when I open it, I'll put it in one of these empty containers to keep it fresh. And I like Aiello too, but I wouldn't buy Aiello, and someone gave me that. I'm more of a fan of Illy. And like I said, this machine. What I like about this machine is it's durable. This machine, I've had it for 10 years. You have to maintain it. There are certain things you have to do to clean it. But it's great because it saves you money. I don't drink American coffee. I don't drink like percolated coffee, and I never did. I never did. When I was a kid, my father, he drank maybe 10 cups of coffee a day or something, but I never drank American coffee, and as a result, I just didn't drink any coffee. And then when I started going to Italy and I discovered cappuccino and espresso, I was like, this is what I like, because I don't like a lot of water in my coffee. I don't like a coffee that's made mostly with water. And the great thing about espresso, and a cappuccino is just espresso with foam milk. But the great thing about espresso is that it's the grinds are more finely ground, and when the water comes through it, it puts pressure on the espresso. And it draws out all the flavor of the coffee, and that's why it's only a little bit, like a little shot, because it's not water. It's me. It has the same amount of coffee as percolated American coffee. It just has less water. So as a result, the coffee flavor is more concentrated and focused, and it tastes better, in my opinion, because of that. And then in the morning, to have it with frothy milk is, just pleasant, because you want milk in the morning to start your day. And I use whole milk. It's okay. I don't know. We'll have to ask Kelsey or even Andrea about diet stuff and everything, because I'm not a nutritionist like they are, and others, that I know are. But if you're going to have whole milk, it's better to have it in the morning, because you can work it off in the course of the day. So I would rather have it with whole milk than skim milk myself. But the great thing about the machine that I have is that it saves you money, because initially you buy it, and then after that it saves you money, because cappuccino is expensive, and I don't drink American coffee. So if I'm going to have coffee in the morning, I want cappuccino. And to go to a bar, as the Italians call it, or a cafe as we call it, and get it there, every day, it's very expensive. I don't, I like to go to cafes, a couple of times a week maybe, and sit and socialize. But I mean, if I had to buy a cappuccino every morning from those, cafes, it would be very, very expensive. So that's why I made the investment to get a machine and to learn how to use it. It's not easy to use. It's tricky. You really have to, get a lot of practice, especially to make the milk foamy. You need a lot of practice. So please put spelling of cappuccino machine. All right, I can do that. It's could you see it on the it's Breville. It's the name is right here. Breville. Breville. And see, this is the spout that's used for to make the cappuccino. Maybe next time, why don't next Thursday when we meet, I make a cappuccino, while we're talking and I can show you how I make a cappuccino. Why don't we do that? Be a good idea. I was thinking about that. I'd have to position the camera in the right way, but the phone. But next time we meet, we'll do that. Hi, Michael. Hope everything's well. All the tribe there. I hope they're doing all well. You guys, I'm sure, hunkered in and surviving just fine because you're used to having a lot of kids around and homeschooling, and this is a blessed time for you guys to be all together. So I wish I could be there too to say hello and stop in, but we can't be around each other as much, but it would be fun. That's for sure. So glad everything's going well. We'll talk soon. I got to call you. I've been meaning to call you too, just see how everything's going. Steven, how's it going? We were talking about cigars earlier. We got to have another cigar dinner. Well, that's a lot of fun, isn't it? To get together. And we'll have to do that. Yeah, Eileen, hope you eat breakfast. I know. I gotta do that now before it becomes lunch. But for breakfast, I only have like a little pastry, like a cornetto. I don't really eat American breakfast, like eggs and bacon and and all that. I just usually will have like a little cornetto, like a little chocolate dessert or something very light for breakfast. And then I have a bigger lunch. Yeah, Richard, it's a great, like I said, it's a great machine. It really serves my purposes. Here it's a really hi Carolyn, good to see you. Longa Luca. But it really serves my purposes, and it helps to like I said, keep the cost down of what I spend, because if I were to go to a cafe every day, what are they, about $4 or something, or three change? It's a lot of scarol, as we Italians say. Scarol, we mean escarole, a little dialect word for money. So yeah, Steve, I know, I can't wait to get together for a cigar dinner. That's for sure. It'll be great. We'll have a nice bowl of pasta, steak, nice smoke. Like I said, I can't wait to smoke. I just, with the weather being so bad, I don't want to smoke inside. I just can't wait to sit out there in my patio and just have a, relaxing, smoke, and we'll see. Carlucci, Monsignor Montecalvo, hope you're doing well. I know you miss my cappuccino in the morning. You usually, we have a nice cappuccino together. So can't wait for you to be back in the church and in the rectory. A lot of people are asking how you're doing. So I hope you're doing well. And your mom, hope she's doing well. So give her my love when, tell her I said hello. Be sure you have some kind of breakfast. I know, like I said, it's almost lunchtime. So, I know I usually, like I said, I didn't want to eat, because, I don't, be eating something in front of everyone. I didn't want to do that. So, and I didn't have time to eat beforehand. Anyway, I will when we hang up. You're welcome, Monsignor. We love you and we miss you. Everybody here in the parish misses you and is always asking for you, and can't wait. They can't wait to see you in church, as you add so much to our parish. I'm very, very blessed to have Monsignor Montecalvo in his retirement come to help me on the weekend and be with me here. I'm very blessed, and the parish is very blessed. You add so much life and happiness and joy, to the parish, and people respond to that. They love you as I do, and I'm blessed that you have decided to help me in your retirement years. So I consider that a real blessing from God, that you're here and you help me. Where is the magic mirror? I know I gotta get it. I gotta get one. Some names, though, some Italian names that are watching, I don't know if they've ever heard their names being said on Romper Room. That's for sure. So anyway, so it was great to spend time with you. Like I said, next time when we meet, what we're going to do, what time you start chatting online? I started chatting at 9:15, so I went a long time today. But next time we meet, I'll make a cappuccino with you watching, and you can see how I do it. All right. So great to see you. I'll see you at noon. I'll be around at noon for adoration, rosary, and benediction. So if you can make it, and then 3:00 we have Divine Mercy Chaplet. So keep up the great work, Angelo. Great to see you. Everyone, hang in there. Stay healthy. Stay strong. We're all getting through this together. Like I said, we're going to be a lot better off when this is all over, and we're gonna be stronger, and we're gonna be more faithful, and we're gonna have more of a zeal for God and for our faith. So let's just keep the positive energy flowing, and keep the cappuccino flowing. That's for sure. And I'll see you next time here at Cafe Cappuccino in the Rectory Kitchen, and we'll see you soon for prayer. Ti voglio bene, tutti. Ciao. Hey, everyone. All right. Sorry about the little